Bore da, good morning and welcome to this hybrid meeting of Registration and Licensing Committee on Monday the 7th of August 2023. I'm Councillor Anthony John Richards and I will be chairing today's meeting. Just to make you aware, today's meeting will be recorded and can you therefore please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. Would members, officers and attendees who are present in the chamber today please use their microphone when speaking, and when not speaking, can I ask that you ensure your microphone is switched to mute. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or electronic hand if attending virtually. One thing just under the chairperson's announcements, I just wanted to make or Sarah aware with regards to some discrepancies in the report. Page 16, item 9. There's an issue with the date there. There's a future date when it should be I'm assuming an older date. And then on page 17, item 12, contains some incorrect wording. So I have sent those on to the officer and those amendments will be made. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Chair. I'll note those within the minutes.
Great. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much. Agenda item 2, declarations of interest. So are there any declarations of interest? And if yes, Sarah will forward an electronic form for you to return to her if there is. Councillor Heath Davis.
Yes.
Yes, Councillor, can you please declare if your interest is personal or prejudicial?
Prejudicial.
Prejudicial. On the basis of that, then we've seek some advice and we're advising that you leave the meeting for the first agenda item, then the application of the taxi driver, please, or the taxi vehicle.
And just from myself personally, I know the applicant just from being a ward member. I've done some casework in the past, but I am able to speak and vote in today's meeting. Personal interest, yeah. Diolch yn fawr. Okay, agenda item 3 is minutes of the previous meeting. So minutes of the previous meeting held on the 10th of July 2023 are on pages 3 to 4 of the circulated agenda pack. Can I have a proposer and a seconder to approve the minutes for accuracy?
Happy to propose, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much. And then agenda item 4 is Hackney Carriage and Private Hire Vehicle Licensing. So the report can be found on pages 5 to 14 and is here for decision. So Mr. Chappell, will you please introduce the report?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning, everyone. This is an application for a private hire vehicle licence made by A&M Private Hire Limited. Members will be aware that decisions taken on vehicles, grant of vehicle licenses, are usually delegated to officers. In this particular case, the vehicle in question does not meet the council's policy. Therefore, it's coming before members today to make their determination. The vehicle specifications state that vehicles must be fitted with 4 doors. Most vehicles, as members will be aware, will fit this requirement. If you think about a standard saloon vehicle, you have the driver's door, passenger front door, and 2 doors in the rear on the side. For our larger vehicles, our 8, 7 and 8-seater vehicles, you'll again have the driver's door, passenger's front door, and you usually have 2 sliding doors on either side. This particular vehicle, members will note the photographs that are attached to Appendix 1, is set up like a bus design. So you enter via the front of the vehicle, and then you're able to walk through the vehicle, and there's a rear door which is accessible as well for access and emergency egress. The reason the policy specifies vehicles to have 4 doors is to ensure that passengers are able to access the vehicle safely and conveniently, but also, and importantly, to escape in the event of an accident or emergency. Members will note the photos that are attached to the appendix. The vehicle is available at the Civic Centre today, but there's no intention for us to see it. Hopefully the photographs will give you a general feel for the layout of the vehicle itself. Members will also note from the photos that there is an emergency exit. It's a break glass window located on the opposite side to the access point. And I'm informed that there's also an emergency sunroof, which can be utilised as well by passengers. Members are therefore being asked to determine this vehicle licence application, which does not meet policy. However, it does appear to be suitable in design, safety and accessibility. If members are minded to approve this application, I would suggest that such approval is subject to confirmation that the vehicle has the appropriate conversion certificate in place and that the vehicle is adapted to ensure that no more than 8 passenger seats can be accommodated in the vehicle. That would be in accordance with the VCA Vehicle Certification Agency guidance. In addition, if members are minded to approve this application, I would suggest that members also instruct officers to carefully consider amendments to the taxi licensing policy to enable similarly designed vehicles to be licensed in the future, but which also ensure that passenger safety is not compromised. Thank you, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much, Mr. Chappell. Any questions at this stage to Mr. Chappell on the report only? Councillor Sarah Thomas.
Thank you, Chair. So I was just wondering, obviously the doors at the rear of the vehicle, there are 2 of them. Does that only count as one?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. So one access point, yes. So even though there are 2 doors there, it'd be one access point to the vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Suzanne Paterson, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Neil, we normally only stray from policy if exceptional circumstances type of thing. Are there any exceptional circumstances in this case?
I don't think the circumstances are exceptional. However, this particular design was never really considered when the taxi policy was put in place. So the 4 doors were there for a reason, and that was to ensure that passengers would always have access to 2 access and egress points in case of emergency. So if the vehicle, for example, was in an accident and it was on its side, then passengers would be able to get out through the opposite door. In this particular case, then you would be able to still do that because you can access it. If it's on the side, you can access it through the rear, or if there's a crash at the rear, you can access the front door. So it's not that it's exceptional. It's just that it probably wasn't considered at the time that we did the taxi licensing policy. And like I said, if it is something that members are minded to approve, then the taxi licensing probably should be looked at, and we can carefully change the wording on it to account for vehicles such as this.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Chair.
Great. Councillor Robert Wood.
Thanks, Chair. I can see from the photos there, obviously you've got the front, the drivers and the passenger seat at the front there. What I can't see is how easy would it be for somebody that would be sort of strapped into one of those chairs, if there was 8 passengers then, what I'm trying to say is that if the 8 people had a disability, those behind the front 2 seats, would they be able to easily access the passenger and the driver door to get out if the back doors, if they couldn't get out the back doors? If, for example, the vehicle had been shunted or whatever, then how easy is it to get from all 8 seats out of the front? Do the chairs fold down? Do they move to the side? Is there some sort of emergency way of getting out from the front. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Councillor. I don't believe the seats fold down in any way, but there isn't really a need to, because there is a corridor set to a passageway through the middle of the seat. So my understanding is that every passenger there, regardless of which seat they're in, would be able to either access the rear of the vehicle easily or the passenger front door. The driver's door would be difficult to access, but the passenger front door would be available quite easily to all passengers.
Okay, Councillor Wood. Great. Councillor Carpenter, please.
Thank you, Chair. I think that Councillor Wood has already asked the question I was going to ask. In the event of an accident, you said, Mr. Chappell, that it meets safety standards. My concern would be an accident involving disabled who are more likely to use a large vehicle such as this. If there is anything lost by granting approval to this vehicle than a 5-door vehicle, you know, I'd like to know really from a safety point of view. Thank you.
I can't see that there's a safety issue with it. Obviously, you can't account for all situations. You can't account for all accidents, but it's, you know, the access points. There's a very large access point to the rear. If there was a shunt to the vehicle, then any passengers on it would be able to get out through the front. If there was a real bad accident, then you always have the ability to go through the emergency access window or sunroof as well. But this layout is the same as any other PSV bus vehicle that's driving around, albeit it has an extra access point. If you get on a bus, generally you've got the front access and a break glass window. That's it. This one's got the added extra access point of the rear doors.
Are you okay with that, Councillor Carpenter?
That's
great.
I'd
Councillor
ask
Rob. Oh, sorry.
Chair, to Mr. Chappell. Sorry, is this the first time such a vehicle has been brought before this committee?
It's the first time that we would have a vehicle which has 3 access doors or egress points only. We do have a similar designed vehicle where you access through the front, but that one also has a side door access. So that one has the 4, albeit rear, one side, and the front.
So our decision today would become a precedent for identical vehicles?
Yes, I think so. If like I said, members were reminded to approve the application, then it would be only right for officers to look at the taxi policy and consider these vehicles and the delegated authority in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Councillor Rob Wood. Rob Jones.
Thank you, Chair. You've just made the point, Mr. Chappell, about the PSVs. These are standard PSV vehicles. We operate them as a council, and we have a fleet of these vehicles that are so designed. As a matter of fact, this is a far safer vehicle. Question from me, is this vehicle modified or production? And that then I'll come back based on your answer to that.
Yeah, this vehicle it's a Volkswagen Crafter, so it's built as a standard bus with no seats in, and then it's converted following that production by a coach builder.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. Then that satisfies the way I think this needs to go. If we looked at it when these policies were first introduced, we had petrol and diesel. Do we now need to change the policy in relation to hybrid and electric only? And then disabled and equality access came in and vehicles had to accommodate those types of things. I think this is the next iteration of taxis. We operate similar buses that are less safe, and I can't see how we can refuse this application purely because the policy doesn't follow the manufacture of this vehicle. And I am minded for it to be granted, with the policy being reviewed and changed, because this is the next stage of taxi development with PSVs. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Jones. Okay, no. Any further questions from any members to Mr. Chappell on the report only? No? Okay, I will, if you wish to do so, I can invite the applicant to make submissions. Is there anything you'd like to add?
A little bit nervous, not used to this. I think Mr. Chappell's handled it and dealt with it very, very well. The only thing I would like to point out is the disabled. Things are moving on in the disabled market. This vehicle is well catered for that, and this is where we are coming from ourselves. So.
Great, no, thank you very much for that as well. Okay, so can I just check that everyone's had the opportunity to speak? Yep. Okay, so what I'd like to say, thank you both for attending the committee. What we will do now is we will just retire to deliberate, and you'll be notified of the decision. So Mr. Chappell's team will get in contact with you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.